142 anonymous NBA players were given a chance to vote in a poll organized by The Athletic. That is nearly a third of entire league. Unfiltered, anonymous opinions provided to us some shocking and often very interesting views and feedback. All 30 teams had a voice in this poll. Not every player answered every question, but still, those numbers mean we have a very solid overview of what players think about various topics. This will be a very interesting, and I have to admit, sometimes a bit shocking and surprising video. But stay with me, guys. You definitely do not want to miss it. Please remember to help me to grow my channel and click like under this video and subscribe button. Let's get it started.
First question.
First question was who is the MVP this year? Unsurprisingly, here answers reflected what we kinda would expect based on what we seen on court. Nikola Jokic on the first place with quite a close runner-up in SGA and Luka Doncic on third place. What is kinda surprising for me, only 1.4% of players thought Giannis is MVP worthy. But this kinda can be understood after how he legitimed Bucks this season. Jokic voters said that he's unstoppable and underlined that he affects the game in many ways that people cannot understand, both offensively and defensively. Honestly, his defense has gotten a lot better.
And as for the second question?
Second question was who is the best defender? And that is kinda shocking, or maybe not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So, 132 NBA players decided that the best defender is Victor Wembanyama, with Jrue Holiday on second place and Lou Dort on third. Rudy Gobert, who thinks of himself as someone who would be able to stop Prime Shaq, yes, that is an actual quote, was placed on 6th place, with only 6% of players sharing this enthusiasm. Voters said that Wemby makes it so hard to finish at the rim, and that he's changing the game. And this is not the only question, where players clearly spoke unfavorably about Rudy Gobert. Wait till you see next question and answers related to him.
Next question.
Third question was about which player you would select today as your franchise cornerstone to build around him from scratch. Wemby on first place again with a very close runner-up Nikola Jokic. Wemby had enormous hype and expectations prior to this season, but so far people would rather agree that he is actually even better than anyone expected. And the age was obvious factor too, as Wemby might have still left easily like 15 years of playing or more left in his tank. Nikola Jokic on second place tells us how respected he is in league. He is 29 years old and still so many players would want to build around him from scratch. Anthony Edwards on third place is not surprising, and judging by what we are currently seeing in playoffs and how he wipes the floor with Durant and Suns, his stock can only grow in the future. What is kinda shocking though, LeBron James received almost 3% of votes, being almost 40 years old. That is a testimony of his impact on last 20 years in the NBA. And now, what we all needed, what we all wanted and what we all deserved. A decent portion of drama with the fourth question and answers. Who is the league's most overrated player? And this is where Rudy Gobert was clear-cut voters' favorite. I am not sure if he is proud of this recognition, and there are chances he might refuse to attend the awards ceremony. Jordan Poole on second place is not a surprise. This season literally would be enough for a lot of GMs to send him back to G League. Draymond really punched the talent out of him. Trae Young on third place is kinda expected. Early in his career he was compared regularly to his draft enemy number 1, Luka Doncic, and following years shown that he might have been vastly overrated, and his questionable behavior on and off the court and impact on team chemistry surely do not make him favorite among NBA players. Worth to add that Trae was a winner of this award in 2023 poll. Now something to balance all the negativity, lads. Who is the league's most underrated player? Derrick White and Jalen Williams topped this poll together. Jrue Holiday on third place is a proof how highly regarded he and his skills are among NBA players. Keep in mind, he was second in Best Defender poll. He definitely is an unsung hero, flying somehow silently under the radar of glory and loud headlines, but doing a lot of good for team success. SGA being fourth on this list and also second on MVP poll tells us a lot. What he does with OKC this season is nothing short of amazing. The next one is kinda a good idea for a discussion during spring barbecue session with your pals. Who in the league would you least like to fight? James Johnson appears to be a Terminator and a final boss for more than half of 125 NBA players who answered this question. That is kinda not a shocker. Guy is 6'7" and 240 pounds of raw power. By the way, Johnson claims that with a year of training, he can beat UFC legend John Jones. And looks like not many are brave enough to oppose this claim. Steven Adams on second place is also a solid answer, and feedback from one NBA player was worth noting. He will be nice with it, but he will choke you out and be like, "It's okay, buddy." That is enough to convince me. What is kinda funny though, our most famous nutcracker, ding-dong touching machine Draymond Green, got some respect from only 4% of voters. Next one will be painful for Shannon Sharp. Who is the GOAT question time now? Michael Jordan on first place with almost 46% of players voting in his favor. LeBron James landed on second place with 42% of votes. Considering that LBJ broke Kareem's scoring record this season, and it still was not enough to convince NBA players to rate him higher than Jordan this year, it is rather unlikely he will ever overcome his earnest, especially that this season for Lakers overall is a big failure, and James is their leader and captain. Kobe on third place tells us what kind of impact he had on many guys in the league. Worth to mention that some troubled young guns, like Kyrie Irving, but many others too, often reached out to Kobe by phone and asked him for guidance and advice how to deal with certain issues of their game. It really tells us a lot. Same like Kobe reached out to Jordan. That is truly amazing that some players do have this father-like aura and are willing to help others and challenge them to improve. Next question is also a great one. Which current coach, aside from your own, would you most want to play for? Unsurprisingly, Eric Spoelstra on top, with Popovich on close second place and Steve Kerr on third. Heat are playing so good, despite not so star-filled roster on paper, that it makes you wonder and question some other coaches who cannot win anything despite having all the stars you can dream of. Famous Heat culture he introduced with Pat Riley seemed to be a blueprint and example of perfection for many voters. Popovich is a living legend, and how he navigates Spurs since ages is class of its own, and his current roster with Wemby gives us some hope that soon it might be Pop on the top spot. Last question we cover here has some interesting answers. Which team, other than your own, will win the title this season? Nuggets seem to be a powerhouse for huge majority of voters. One player said, "It's like a factory, plug and play. They play the right way, no matter who's out there." Shout out to Jokic. Celtics on second place, not surprising, seeing how stacked their roster is and how significantly weaker East overall is. Only 1.6% of voters voted for Milwaukee Bucks. This season so far for Bucks is most probably going to be a mother of all failures, with coaching changes, Giannis playing LeGM, and Doc Rivers antics, which I by the way covered in my recent video. Please go and check it and let me know your thoughts on Doc too. What is your opinion about player polls like this one, guys? Personally, I find it very amusing. On a daily basis we are basing our opinions on what we see, and eventually on opinions of our favorite sport journalists. But having some feedback directly from players, especially considering the fact that those are anonymous votes, I find it great. Hopefully, next year The Athletic will have this poll too. Let me know your thoughts and comments, guys, and as always, help me to appease the almighty YouTube algorithm and hit like under this video and subscribe the channel. See you next time!